Hi, Get UNSTUCK Nation. So today I'm very excited to introduce my dear friend Paul Kearney from Access Consciousness. So let me introduce Paul to you. Paul is a business and wellness coach who is European Director of Access Consciousness Certified Facilitators who travel the world facilitating changing the business sectors and private clients that he helps them put their life first and then enjoy the business. So today, Get UNSTUCK Nation, we are talking about how you guys can enjoy life and also having the businesses also support the lifestyle. And you guys know that we always support you to put your life priority first and enjoy the life because you only have once, right? You never know what's going to happen tomorrow. And yeah, let's talk about that. So please welcome Paul to Get UNSTUCK Radio today. Hi, Paul. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much. Lovely to be here. And I love what you're creating in the world. Just beautiful.
Likewise, Paul. So after I check your website, I'm like, wow. So we're going to have a great conversation today.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, it's so access consciousness is all about accessing your own consciousness. And one of the components is that what if the purpose of life is just to have fun? And what if you just enjoy yourself? And it's the most amazing, incredible adventure ever. And as you said earlier, it's like if you're in business, what business can you create that allows you to support your life and allows your life to be greater, but also for you to be a contribution to the whole of humanity?
So what is actually necessary for us to access our consciousness?
Great question. Awareness. So we have to be aware of so we define consciousness as includes everything and judges nothing. So that sounds very big, which it is, but consciousness includes everything and judges nothing. And what if it includes you as well? And that you as an infinite being can create anything. So you can create the most amazing life, the most incredible life, the most joyous life. And what if it's your choice that actually moves the universe? So the more things that you choose, the more you can create. Some things will be awesome, some things won't be so awesome. And the things that aren't awesome, how about you change them and be in a continuous state of change? So always looking to change.
Do you think that it's always happen from how we decide to move forward or the thing that's surrounding us decide for us?
We always have choice. And it's like the universe wants us to be happy. The universe wants us to be joyful. And it's like it's our ability to listen to the universe, but also being willing to choose what's light for you. So what's light for you is true and what's heavy is a lie. And oftentimes what happens is we choose things that are heavy for us rather than choosing what's light for us. And the more that we choose what's light for us, the more that energy is going to be light, it's going to be open, it's going to be expansive, it's going to be joyful.
How can you get to this journey of joyfulness?
For me, it started with depression and sadness. And it was like in my early 20s, I had depression. And it started me on a lifelong journey, really, of exploring. Like I trained with some of the greatest teachers and met incredible people. I trained as a Tai Chi teacher, a yoga teacher, a meditation teacher, and I loved all that. And then around 10 years ago, I met Access Consciousness, and it was like a whole different level. So Gary Douglas, who's the founder, who's based in Texas, and he's co-creator Dr. Dane here. They started this organization around 30 years ago, and it's gone from being in 7 countries 15 years ago to now being in 177. So it just grew dynamically. And for me, it just made sense. It was just like, this is awesome. I love it. Let's go, let's go, let's go. It was energetic. It was joyful. It was fun. It was fast. And it just created so much space in my world.
Yeah, I mean, I have done some research. So before the interview, I'm like, wow, why are the people are so happy? I always struggling between the words happy, joyful, and feeling decent in life. You know, it's different level. Like the way that I see the world are totally different between like, so I understand, like, I also still, well, how to say that? Like, I'm still on the process of like, depressed someday, anxious someday. Like I'm still working on it. I believe that many audience here like still in the entrepreneurial journey. We have to go through this. Like it's like undeniable process that we have to go through this thing. So how can we cope with this loop of like being doubtful or like unsuccess, sometimes that upset, but we have to push through, and we decided already that whatever we chose to be joy. we chose the joy every time, but yet surrender to the outcome, let's say.
Yeah, well, and also it's like acknowledge that like every day is not going to be perfect, every day is not going to be
Mhm.
wonderful, and it's like things are going to come up. That's the nature of life, and just being pragmatic, being practical about it, but having a set of tools that you can use. One of the most important ones, which I'm going to share with the Unstuck community, is who does this belong to? Because
Mm.
99.9999999 recurring percent of
Mhm.
your thoughts, feelings, and emotions are not yours, and you're aware of them. And it's like, just ask the question, is this mine or somebody else's? So often we're aware of somebody else who's feeling sad or feeling anxious or whatever feeling may be in our world. It's not ours. So the more that we acknowledge when we're truly being us, we're joyful, we're happy, we're powerful, we're potent. And the more that we step into that, the more we can be that in the world. But that's not to say every day is going to be perfect and that it's like Pollyanna, put your pink glasses on. It's like things are going to come up, but it's like it's having the tools to deal with them, also having the skill to deal with them, and also never give up, never give in, never quit. There's so many times where you feel like, oh, I want to give up, oh, it's not good enough. But a lot of the time, it's like 2 steps after that, there's a major breakthrough. So always keep going. There's always more. There's always more. There's always more.
What would you suggest? Here's the thing. To feel like there are always more, sometimes it's so hard to like push through the barrier. Like this some barrier that's like, oh, I don't know whether how long I could take this.
Yeah.
You know that feeling, right? Like
Yeah, totally.
the stuck feeling.
Yeah.
That stuck feeling. So what would you suggest that anyone who's still listening or watching this video, like how can they push through this barrier?
Well, have things that are fun for you to do. Have a list of things that you love to do. So whether that's things that make you feel like you, make you feel happy, make you feel joyful, whether that's swimming, whether that's walking, whether that's hiking, whether that's painting. Like for me, one of the things is getting my bars run. So access consciousness bars, it's 32 points in the head. And when gently held, just allow the mind and body to relax. But you just go into such a deep sense of relaxation. You're like, oh, why worry? It's like, okay, what do I need to change here? And look at what you can change, but have a list of things that you love to do. And it's like, if you're feeling stressed or anxious, okay, cool. I know when I go for a walk, I always feel better. I know when I talk to friends, I always feel better. I know when I go for a swim, I always feel better. And have that list and just say, okay, what on this list do I need to do today? So yeah, you resource yourself in terms of the correct things to do, and surround yourself with people who are positive, who are willing to support you, who are willing to be honest with you, and who are willing to call you on your shit as well and say, hey, look, dude, you've been doing this for a while. Maybe you need to do something different. It's like being willing to be brutally honest with yourself. Okay, what do I need to change here?
You mentioned about the support. I think this is something that support system. How can you know that they are a great support system?
Because it works. So
Yeah, how can you know that they are working? You know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
there are some people that not really support you.
Yeah, but if you go to somebody and you continually feel drained and exhausted and tired after it, maybe they're not the best support in the world. And it's like you should feel uplifted, should feel joyful, you should feel that you are heard. And it's like the energy suckers, people who suck energy from you, try and avoid them if possible. And look at the people who make you feel like you. Because the more that you can be you, the more that you can change the world.
Oh, you mentioned that choose the people who make you feel like you. Meaning that we have to, you suggest to find the person that match your energy.
Yeah, and you also need to choose who you are in the world. What do you desire to create? And that's a choice. It's like, okay, what do you desire to be in the world? What change have you come here to create? Because as an infinite being, you can create, you can change, you can be, you can do anything. And it's like, what have you come here to create?
And if you don't know that answer yet,
that's the magic. It's an open question. You don't need to know the answer. It's like, by the nature of the question, you continue to evolve. So the question allows you to open the space into greater possibilities. So I didn't think we want to go here, but we are. So it's like 4 elements of creation. Question. So you ask a question. An example. How does it get any better than this? And then you choose something. So you have to choose something. That's where choice comes in. That opens a possibility. And that possibility then allows you to be the contribution that you've come here to be.
Okay. So when you're feeling lost, doesn't mean you are lost. You contribute to something.
Yeah. And what if you're not lost? What if you're actually exploring? What if you're exploring the universe? And what if you're actually exploring what works for you?
Oh, right. Oh, that's a
So
good one.
yeah. So what if you're okay with feeling lost? Okay, I feel lost, but it's like, okay, number one, who does it belong to? Is it mine or somebody else's? Okay, number two, what's right about this I'm not getting? So asking the question, what's right about this I'm not getting? And number three, what contribution can this be to my life and living?
Wow, that's good. Okay. Oh, that's
Yeah,
already
these
come.
tools are good. These tools
Oh,
are
this
really, really good. Yeah.
this is good. Okay. Take notes, everyone. This is good. Like pin this down. Oh, this is good. This is good. What about business though? Okay, here's something that I learned very early on in the business journey, that you have to make decision whether you want to take responsibility in your own life, or you want to, okay, bear with me. You want to be responsibility on other people's life, as in being a business owner and having to take care of other people, or responsibility on your own life, as in work for other people and getting paid for what you do. So that is something that I learned.
Yeah,
Like you
totally.
need to make that a decision, as in making money.
Yeah, and also, what if you can have it all? So it's like, see what
Mm,
works for you. And it's like, if you've chosen to come here to change the world, acknowledge that and see, okay, how can I change the world? Can I be the greatest dance teacher? Can I be the greatest ballerina? It's like everything is a contribution, and it's like, what are we willing to receive? And the more that we can receive, the more that we can open up to the space of the universe, the more that we can be in tune with the universe. And what if your life became a masterpiece and you created it every day from a space of beauty?
actually, that's very good. Because here's the thing, I also realized that it's about the process. It's about dedication of your daily basis without thinking and what it will be in the future, like detached to the outcome.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Because the more you think of where I'm heading toward, it means that you're not really joyful of what you are doing right now.
Yeah, correct. And it's being present in the present moment. And what if you let go of the outcome and allow that to the universe? And it's like, okay, what do I need to be aware of now? What do I need to get done? What do I need to be? But what space can I be that would actually be a contribution here?
But thinking in terms of like, there are many factors, as in many moving pieces in the business.
Yeah,
How
correct.
can they prioritize insights internally? Like for, let's say, small business owners, like they are wearing many hats at the same time.
Yeah, totally. And the number one hat you have to wear is look after yourself. And it's like,
Mm,
you have to be aware of burnout. You have to be aware of stress. And it's like, one of the things that we've started recently is called Bars in Business, where we're bringing access consciousness bars into businesses. And to see the relief that people have, but they like, some of it's with big companies and other with smaller companies, but to see the relief with people when they get to relax and be themselves, and they don't need to work so hard, they don't need to kill themselves. It's like, okay, what's possible here? And it's like, allow themselves to relax and enjoy the moment, because life is short, and it's actually enjoying the moment, enjoying the here and now, enjoying this conversation, being present with everything that's happening.
no, you're curious. Yeah, that's true. Another thing though, what I found, I think this happened very, like the more I see in the trend, like I have been in this business thing for more than 7 years. So I have seen the trend of like people played big, but then when they played big, they go all in and they push too hard. They couldn't do it as long as they thought they want to pursue. So it wasn't as consistent as they thought that they want to carry on doing. Like I have been doing this for 7 years. I'm still doing the same thing
Mhm.
over and over again. Well, I don't find it boring because I want to master at the craft. However, many of my colleagues or a friend of mine who started at around the same time as me already changed. Many have changed their engine and so on. So these are the difference. Like they're not really sure of what they are doing, and they shift the system within to what they really want at that time, and they keep changing, and I don't know whether what makes them happy.
Yeah, and what if it's okay to have allowance for that? And it's like, the change happens in life. It's like things are always changing, whether we realize it and whether we acknowledge it, whether we don't acknowledge it. But the more that we can have allowance for ourselves and just say, okay, what's required for me today? What's required for me to be happy today? It's like, how can I nurture myself? And it's like, when you actually start looking after yourself and including you in your own life, everything starts to change, and you can share your life, because the more that you're willing to have allowance for you and allow yourself to be the space of magic.
Mm. But it's true. It's true you mentioned that, because I do believe also that if you're not healthy, like the health, and you're not taking care of yourself first, everything holds around your life, like your well-being. If you're not healthy at any sense, like I just told you offline that I had a car accident,
Yes, yeah.
everything got affected.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
everything delayed, my team delayed, like my work delayed, my client delayed. They are left, like some left, some remain, but everything changed. Like I have to accept that, and that those were the consequence of some actions that has happened, and I have to find a way that I have to cope with it. So it happens, but there are also some incident that also happens to me that without this accident, this thing also not happen, like, so this coping mechanism of like I need to look back to myself and reevaluate the situation of where I am now and reprioritize where I want to be as in business in my life. Like that's crazy, and I know to the fact that it happens unknowingly. So what would you suggest, like when the COVID hit for the first time, for example, and if something happened again that like unpredictable, how would you suggest like our entrepreneur people to prepare for the unexpected?
So be in the question. So life, by the very nature of it, is unpredictable. You cannot predict what's going to happen tomorrow. It's like, who could have predicted that there was going to be a global virus that was going to shut down the whole world? And it's like, you can't predict that. You just can't. And it's like, but being in the question, the more that you can be the question and be the open question of space. So as an example, how does it get any better than this? So when something happens, when something crappy happens, you ask, how does it get any better than this? And it starts getting better. When something really good happens, how does it get any better than this? And it starts getting even better. And it's like, what's the gift in it? What's the universe showing you here? And it's like, start to become aware of the things that are happening, what you're thinking, what you're creating, what's showing up in your life, and what you're asking for. Because truly, you are a miraculous creator. You can create anything. There is nothing that can stop you except for you. So everywhere you're stopping you, what if you unstuck yourself and allowed yourself to be the brilliance of you? Because that's the magic. That's the space of who you truly be.
Amazing. Like amazing. So I think this is already a sweet spot. So in case anyone want to learn more about your work and want to work with you, basically, where can they follow you then?
Yeah, so two websites. So number one with Access Consciousness, www.accessconsciousness.com. And then for me personally, it's www.iampaulkearney.com.
So all of those will be put in the description below as well as the show note. And yeah, check it out. I think you get already a lot of good nuggets from what we are talking today. Yeah, check it out, especially the questions that I mentioned. So pin that. That's very good. So thank you so much for your time, Paul. I'm very appreciate you. I have a lot of thoughts today, and I definitely will review this interview.
Awesome. Thank you very much. My pleasure.